Hello. So today I want to talk about success. And I'm sure you've heard just about every business coach, mindset coach, everything else out there talking about success. I'm sure you've heard a ton about it. But what I want to drill into is the fact that success depends on presentation. And I don't mean like you have to have your makeup perfect and you have to have an awesome shirt or whatever. In fact, today I'm wearing a cute New York t-shirt. So I wanted to tell you that as long as it's cool with your brand, that kind of stuff is okay. When it comes to your book though, success is judged by how it's presented, right? So we all know about judging a book by its cover. People are going to judge the content of the book. They're going to judge the way it looks. And if you want to be successful with your book, it has to look professional because you want to use it to pitch media outlets, right? If somebody goes to your website and they see that your book is on there and it looks like something that has just been slapped together, maybe you've just reached out to a couple people on Fiverr and said, hey, I need somebody to do X, Y, Z. Go ahead and do my book cover. I don't care. I want a picture of a balloon on there. And then you pull it together and it doesn't actually look like a book that should be representing your brand or a book that fits into your genre. Then when you go to pitch some of these bigger media outlets, they're going to say, hey, this isn't somebody we want to work with. This is not somebody that we're going to have on the show because you don't look like a professional. So if you want that professional level of success, you have to have a professional book. That means working with professionals on your book. That means hybrid publishing instead of self-publishing. Yeah, self-publishing can be easy. It's something you do on your own, but you don't necessarily have the time and the patience to be putting into vetting all of the people that need to go into the process. You might not have time to find a really good cover designer. You might not have a really good editor in your world. And if you're reaching out to people and saying, hey, does anybody know an editor? And someone's coming back with like, oh, my friend is an English teacher and she said she'd be happy to just read over your manuscript. It's different. Yeah, she'd be a great beta reader. Someone like that would be wonderful to just go over the book and tell you, hey, this made sense. This didn't make sense. I'd love to hear more about this. They could give you some of that kind of feedback, but someone like that isn't trained. They haven't been through editing books before, unless they have. Some of them have. So they aren't necessarily going to know how to look for certain little things in the books. You want somebody who is able to find errors, find ambiguity, find places where, you maybe talked about something in chapter 2, and then you use the same example in chapter 6. I've had that happen before. Because when we're writing a book, we have it all in our heads and it all makes sense. And yes, I usually have somebody edit my work too, especially if it's a book. So whenever we are putting out a book, we need it to be a professional product. Circling back to success. When you have a professional product, you are going to be more successful with selling it. You're going to be more successful with pitching with it. You're going to bring more success back to your business because you're showing people that you take yourself seriously, you take your words seriously, and you are willing to stand behind that and put out a professional product. So if you're thinking about working on a book, or if you have one in your head, in your computer, wherever it is, step back and think, what do I want to represent my brand? Because I don't know anybody out there who is a business owner or a nonprofit leader or thinking about becoming a speaker or coach. I know sometimes speakers and coaches don't say that they're business owners, entrepreneurs, any of those kind of categories. If you want a book to represent you want it to be successful. I don't know anyone who doesn't want to be successful, right? And if you don't want to be successful, then you don't want to waste your time on a book. So if you are investing in your business, investing in your brand, investing in that nonprofit, you want something to represent you, want to think about success, and you want to think about what level you are representing yourself. So when you're working on your book, make sure that you are working with professionals. Make sure that it is a professional product that gets put out. Because when you're pitching, when you have that book sitting on the table at an event, when somebody is gifted that book because, a friend of a friend of a friend said, hey, I heard about this and I think that this is going to help you. You want them to take you seriously. You want them to take your work seriously. And you want them to go, wow, that person is successful getting through their struggles. I want to be successful too. I need them. So think about all of that stuff when you're working on your book. Focus on success.